This conference will now be recorded.
I'm sharing my screen. Are you able to see?
Yeah.
Okay. So, did you understood yesterday topics, or did you gone through the topics document which I shared you? Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Did you gone through the document which I shared yesterday, and did you see what is the manual automation, and did you explore anything on that area?
Yeah.
Any
Yesterday.
questions? Any
No.
questions?
No.
Yeah, we are good to start the next topic, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So today we will see the Selenium automation regarding the Selenium automation tool. So we we saw that what is the advantages of the benefits using the automation, right? So here we are using the Selenium as a automation tool. And we will learn about what is the Selenium and what is the architecture of the Selenium, and what is the different components are existing in the Selenium. We will go through today. Okay. Yeah. So the basically yesterday we told that while choosing the automation tool, so we have some criteria. So whether it is the tool is a cost or it is a free, right? So basically the Selenium is a free source tool. It's an open source tool, and it will use the it will automate the testing framework used to validate the web application across the different browsers and the platforms. So for
Hello.
example, yes.
Ma'am, manual testing is not discussed.
What manual testing you want?
Manual testing means SDLC, bug life cycle, testing test cases. What type of
Oh,
testings we are using?
what type of?
Testing techniques. That means white box testing, black box testing.
Yes, yes. Okay, okay. I thought you have a manual. You worked on some Salesforce, right? I think you have the manual testing concept. So I here yesterday I explained high level of what is the manual testing, what is the type. You want that STLC, defect life cycle, and test document, test scenario. So that kind of information also you need.
Yeah. Okay. But manual testing is also important.
No issue. Yes, the manual is important. So you need to know, at least you need to understand what is how the manual testing will be done. So I am mainly focusing on the Selenium automation tool. So if you need that information, so we will discuss tomorrow. Okay.
Okay.
Tomorrow I will explain some concepts of the manual testing, like STLC, software testing life cycle, and defect life cycle. So how we need to start the manual testing from the requirement. So what kind of process we will do until the test is designed.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Uh, can I share
Mm.
my resume to your mail?
Yeah, please.
Because so many topics in my resume: TestNG, JUnit, Bugzilla, Zira.
Yeah, those are so Jira is the defect management tool. So when you find any bug in your application, you will raise the Jira in the you will raise the defect in the Jira. Jira is a one of the tool. TestNG we will cover in the Selenium automation. So what other tools you have?
Uh, Frameworks: TestNG, JUnit, data-driven,
JUnit and
hybrid.
okay.
Uh,
Yeah, that hybrid test engine JUnit we will cover this while doing the practical test case implementation using the Selenium. So send me the resume. I will go through that. So what kind of tools you put in the resume? So I will give some information on that.
Yeah,
Tomorrow we
okay.
will see the some manual concepts like SDLC, defect life cycle, and how to divide the requirements to VDD document, and so we will see that tomorrow. So
Yeah,
today
okay.
we will explore on Selenium automation tool. What are the components are there? What is the architecture of the Selenium?
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
Is that fine? You send me the resume to my email ID.
Yeah, okay, ma'am.
Okay. So you need to explore something on Google also. So if you read as much as possible related to the manual testing. So if you read, you will not remember. When you are doing the practical only, you will remember what is kind of testing. Uh, I will give some information what you need, but you need to do explore on that also. Okay. So yesterday
Okay.
I do this kind of testing, right? Data driven. So we covered the data driven block of testing. So it's a definite, I mean, we will pass the data from the Excel sheet or property file while doing the testing. So the data comes from the third party tools. Okay, anyway, I will explain tomorrow STLC, defect life cycle, and the test case scenarios, everything. Yeah, today we'll focus on this Selenium thing. Send me the ratio. So that's
Okay.
basically the Selenium is a open source tool. By using the Selenium tool, so we will automate the web applications. So we will not, I mean, we will automate the web application across the different browsers and the different platforms. Means so when your application is hosted in the Linux, we have a different operating system like Windows, Linux, everything, right? So we can, if the web application is hosted in any platform, so we can test that application using the Selenium and different browsers also. So you need to certify your product. So that product will work on different browsers. Like we have a number of browsers like Chrome, IE, Firefox, Edge, Safari. So you have these different kind of browsers, right? So when you want to certify your product, you need to verify that product is working fine in all the different kind of browsers and all the platforms. So you can do these, you can validate these kind of things by using the automation. For that we will use the Selenium. The Selenium is a open source automated testing framework, so which will be used, for, are you able to hear? Can you confirm and chart? Hello? 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 I'm not getting any response from Tejasvi. Are you able to hear? Are you there, Radhakrishna? Hello? Hello, are you able to hear? Can anyone confirm? Okay, so I got confirmation from Tejasvi you are able to hear you. Please let me know if you have any network issues so that I will stop there. So the basically the Selenium is an open source tool. So using the tool, we can automate the web applications and we can test the application which is hosted in the different platforms, and we can also test the same application across the different browsers. So we can use the multiple programming languages like Java, C, Python, different languages. It will support, the Selenium tool will support different languages, Java, C++ and Python, to create the Selenium test scripts. So you can write the automation script using the Selenium plus Java or Selenium plus Python. You can use any programming language with Selenium concepts. So based on your knowledge and which language you want to use, you can start use that programming language to develop the test script. So by default, it will support many languages like Java, C Sharp, Python, Ruby. So it will support the many languages. So we can choose our own programming language and we can start the Selenium test cases. The testing done using the Selenium testing tool is usually referred as a Selenium testing. So if you are using the Selenium concepts and if you are doing any automation means, you that is the Selenium testing we will call. So the Selenium software, generally the Selenium means it is not a single automation tool. So it has a different components in the Selenium. So here if you see, there are four different components: Selenium integrated development environment, and the Selenium remote control, and the WebDriver Selenium grid. So all four together we will call it as a Selenium. So the Selenium is integrated with these four components. So each component is having its own purpose. The Selenium integrated development environment means the basically, if you see the Selenium suite, what? Hello. Hello.
Tejasri, are you there? Hello?
I think she is having some net issues. Yeah, can we continue tomorrow? I don't know. So we will not having proper communication. She is on mute. And Radha Krishna, we will disconnect today. Maybe she is having a net issues. So please let her know. So for tomorrow class, make sure she have a proper connection. Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, ma'am.
I think you have network issues. So can we continue tomorrow?
No, no, network issues not.
Why, I mean, why you are disconnecting and not getting the response
Actually,
from?
my laptop is tracking. Otherwise, I connected my mobile. It's not working. So
Is it
I
fine to continue?
yeah, okay, okay.
Sure.
Yeah, sure, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So in the Selenium, you are able to see my screen, right?
Yeah, basically, ma'am.
Okay. So the Selenium, I don't know where you up to where you have heard. Okay. So we have a four different
Yeah,
components are there.
from starting only. I'm not any hearing.
The Selenium is so here we are using the Selenium as an automation tool. So basically using the Selenium, so we can automate the web application. So we can test the web application across the different browsers and the different platforms. Here the platform means so we have a different kind of platforms like Windows and Linux operating systems, right? So we can test the web application which are hosted in the different platforms. So we can also test our web application across the different browsers. So we have a different browsers like IE, Chrome, Safari, Firefox, right? So we can test the same, we can run the same automation test across the different browsers. So if we develop the test cases using the Selenium, so we can run the same test in different browsers also. So the basically the Selenium is not a single tool. So it contains a four different components. The Selenium IDE means Selenium Integrated Development Environment, and the second one is the Selenium Remote Control and the WebDriver and the Selenium Grid. So these are the four different components which all together we will call it as a Selenium suite. So if you see this diagram, the top level is the Selenium suite. So it contains 4 different components. So in the Selenium RC is the older version. So WebDriver, so the Selenium RC and the WebDriver, these two are merged and the named it as a Selenium 2. So when you are planning to use the Selenium 2 means the whatever the functionality existing in the Selenium RC and the WebDriver will combined into a Selenium 2. So the Selenium 2 contains both WebDriver as well as the Selenium concepts. In the Selenium 3, so in the Selenium 3 version, so they implemented few features which are not existing in the Selenium 2. They implemented and they have introduced some new features in the Selenium 3. So currently we are having the Selenium 4. In the Selenium 4 also they have introduced the WebDriver Manager. It is a new feature. So now currently we have the Selenium 4. So this is the different components of the I do not know why this page is not coming. Okay. So we will discuss about each and every component. So here the Selenium IDE is having the record and playback features. So by default, so when you the Selenium IDE only supports by default when you download the Firefox browser, the Selenium IDE plugin by default it will come. But in the new they have the only Firefox plugin will be available at that time. But now they have developed the Selenium IDE plugin for the Chrome as well as the other browsers also. So if you want to use the Selenium IDE for any browser, you need to add the plugin to that browser. So when you add that plugin, it will use Selenium IDE tool. So using the tool, you can record the whatever the actions you are performing on a web application. You can record that actions, and also you can run that recorded script, and it will show what are the actions you perform. Means using the Selenium IDE, it's a tool. So basically, it's a tool. It will record and play features will be available in the Selenium IDE. The Selenium RC is nothing but so when we will see the practicals of the Selenium IDE and the WebDriver script and the Selenium greetings. Just today we will explore on the what is the Selenium IDE RC kind of thing. So the Selenium remote control is it's a I mean we have a server. So if you want to interact with the browsers, so what you need to have a middleware, and the user will send the action when you want to send some text into the browser. So if we how the process will be happened is, so you will whatever the user is sending, it will take we have a middle layer. It will take that uh, text from the users, and it will convert as per the browser specific JavaScript, and it will send into the browser. So when you get the response from the browser, same thing, the response will be sent to the middle layer, and from the middle layer the user can see the output. So in the Selenium remote control, so we will use the middle layer, which will act as a proxy for the users and the browser. So we will see the architecture of the Selenium remote control, everything. But the thing is, this using the RC, so we will send the user actions to the browser and the browser response to the user. So the WebDriver here is, so if we, why we got the WebDriver is in the Selenium remote control, if you want to perform anything, so we have a middle layer, right? So that will be removed, that got removed in the WebDriver. So whatever you are doing, so you can directly send the text to the browser. I mean, in the web, if we are planning to use the WebDriver, there is no middle layer is required. So we can directly interact our actions with the WebDriver. The WebDriver response also we can directly get it. So there is no middle layer is required in the WebDriver. So this is the whatever the disadvantages are there in the Selenium remote control. So we that got resolved in the WebDriver. So Selenium grid is nothing but, so for example, if you have 100 test cases, if you want to execute those test cases using the Selenium grid, you can invoke. So using the Selenium, you will invoke the how many browsers you want. Uh, Using the Selenium grid, you will invoke the browser so that you can execute how many and whatever the number of test cases you want to execute, you can execute. So if you consider you have 100 test cases, if you are planning to execute in your local, only one by one test case will execute because you have only the one browser instance. Using the Selenium grid, so you will create the how many instances of the browser you want, you can create that many browser, so that when you invoke the automation test cases at a time, it will invoke that many browsers in the Selenium grid. Basically the Selenium grid concept will be used when we are planning to run the automation test parallel. Is that clear?
Oh, okay, ma'am. But your screen is not moving.
Yeah. I think it got stuck. I also don't know why it is got stuck. So it is not. I'm not moving anything. So I'm showing this diagram only.
Yeah, okay.
So
You
I
can share.
don't know why.
You can share the document.
I already sent right yesterday.
Yesterday only
Uh,
up to yesterday class was only up to yesterday class.
oh, you are not get the complete document.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Today I will send it. Okay.
yeah. Okay.
Okay. So basically, I don't know. It is stuck somewhere. So this is the Selenium concepts. So IDE, RC, WebDriver, grid. IDE is recording and play, and RC is the first they developed the Selenium remote control. So if we are using the Selenium remote control, we need to use the middle layer to interact the user actions with the browsers. So in the WebDriver, the middle layer part is removed, so we can directly interact with the browser. The Selenium grid we will use when we are planning to use the run the test using in parallelly on different browsers. If you are planning to run the test parallelly on different browsers using the Selenium grid, we can configure our required browsers and you can run the test parallelly. So this is the basic Selenium tool and why we use the Selenium tool and what are the different components. So what I need from you is you need to explore on Selenium remote control and the Selenium WebDriver. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
So by default, Selenium IDE. So if you see here the Selenium IDE for Chrome. So if you click on this one, so you will get one plugin here. So add to Chrome. So in the previous, I mean, it's a long back, only this plugin is available for only the Firefox browser. So the latter, they have developed this plugin support for the all different browsers also. So by default, the Firefox will have this plugin. If you have the Firefox browser, you can check that. So if you, so this way you need to add the Selenium IDE plugin for Chrome. So once you have this one here, when you check this one, you will get the plugin Selenium ID. See here, you are able to see, right? So once you add that plugin, you will able to see this Selenium ID. Once you click on that thing, you will get one window. So we will record, okay, record test. So these are the welcome thing. You can cancel. Okay, open, create a new project. Okay. So this is the Selenium IDE tool. So as I told that it is having a record and playback feature, right? So here, if you are seeing this red button, so when you click on this one, it will start recording. So here, so you need to provide the basic URL, Google, the HTTP it will expect. So start recording. So here sample, I'm testing sample test. So again I'm clicking this one. So these are the steps you did, right? So it is recorded whatever the test we have did till now. Google test. So if you see that the first it opens the browser and it will type something sample test we type, right? So it will type this test and this one, and it will enter, it will mouse over and it will click. I mean, whatever the actions we did on application, it will record. So if you want to play this, you can run this test, current test. So if you run this one, it will open the Google and it will search the sample test and it will close. You are able to see, right? Test execution.
Yeah, okay.
You understood, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So the basically the IDE tool is nothing but you can record and playback tool. So this also have a lot of features. So if you understood, you can get the most of the information about the Selenium tool from the Selenium IDE itself. So here, so you can also, for example, if you are clicking on something, it will load very slow. You can also set the execution speed. And you can also, if you have the multiple test cases, you can run all the test cases at a time using this button. So you can also segregate the test cases using, you can create different kind of test suites. For example, you have a Amazon site. In the Amazon site, you have a different types of categories like home decoration or cloths, electronics, so mobiles. So you have a different kind of categories, right? So you can create the each category as a one suit, and under the one suit, so you have a different kind of test cases. You can segregate all these test cases under the different group, and you can also create multiple test suits, and under the each test suit you can have the multiple tests. And you can also, I mean, here if you see, there is a lot of information about the how we are doing in the Eclipse. All will be available in the Selenium IDE also. So here, so it will in the this window, if you see, there is a three uh, columns: command, target, and the value. So this command will show these are the Selenium commands. The target is what is the XPath you are using, and this is the value. If you are sending any text, so that will come under the value. So here the open is a one command. So here what you are passing, when if you use the selenium dot open, it is expecting one URL to open. So it will take the Google and it will open. So here the open is a selenium command. Set size window. So you are minimizing your when you open that window, you are setting some window size. Type here you are entering some text. What text you are entering? If you click on this one, so here using the type as a selenium command, and here the name equal to q. So here the name equal to q, we will call it as a identifier. So we will discuss about this identifier more in upcoming classes, but you need to understand to identify some element in the web browser. So you need to have some locators. So here the name equal to q. So how we are getting that name equal to q is, so when you right click on this one, inspect this. So where we are entering the text, we are entering the text in this text box. Here if you see this name equal to q. So this is the identifier to identify this checkbox. Sorry, this text box. So this is the identifier. So we will see. So these are the different ways we can identify that text box. So here the locator, we will call this as a locator, and this is the value. Whatever the value here you are providing, that will be taken and it will enter into the text box. For example, once you recorded and you want to change the text, you can change it and you can run. So now it will open the Google and it will enter the text and it will search for the link. Okay, see here. So once you enter the text, but here the shopping text is not showing, so that's where it is stuck. So the test case is not proceeding, only the 4 steps got passed, so the remaining steps are not passed, because when you search with this text, you are not getting the element which is equal to the link test equal to shopping. So the basically the IDE tool is, see here, this step got failed. So if you see why this step got failed is, you can have the description also why it is failed. Oh, sorry, different logs. See here, you can see what is you can see the current execution what is going. So it opened and it is trying to find the link test equal to shopping. So currently this is running. So it will fail because it is that link is not available in the page. So it will show why it is failed. It will show the log information. See here. So in explicit timeout wait, it is searched for some time and after that it got failed because you are not able to find, I mean the test is not able to find the link test equal to shopping. So here in the logs you can clearly know what steps are passed and in which step it got failed. Okay, is that clear?
ఓకే మ్యామ్. స్క్రీన్స్ కొంచెం డ్రాగ్ చేసి మ్యాక్సిమైజ్ చేయండి. స్క్రీన్స్ వస్తుంది కొంచెం చాలా చిన్న చిన్నగా కనిపిస్తున్నాయి.
Okay. So it is you are using laptop only, but I'm also using laptop. But Okay, you understood, right? What is the Selenium IDE?
Yeah, okay, ma'am.
So మీరు ఏం చేస్తారంటే what you will do is you need to install the Selenium IDE in your laptop and you need to record one script Facebook registration or any registration. You can search for any online registration form. You need to record that test and you need to execute that test and you need to show tomorrow, and
Yeah,
you need to explore on the commands. So here you got only few commands: open, type, send key, click. So these are the different commands you got while recording, right? So observe what different kind of commands you are getting and you need to explore. I mean open means it will open. The name itself you can easily understand. So you need to see how the commands are generating, what kind of information you are getting while recording. Okay.
okay, ma'am.
Okay then. So yeah, once this you are okay with the Selenium IDE tool, so we will start with the Selenium RC. So we will not nowadays we are not using the Selenium RC, so we can directly jump into the WebDriver. But I will explain the what is the architecture of the Selenium RCE and why, what are the benefits and what are the disadvantages in the Selenium RC. But practically, we will not do the Selenium RC concept because it is a deprecated version. So we will directly start with the WebDriver.
Okay,
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Tomorrow we will see some manual concepts and this IDE on your
laptop.
laptop.
Okay,
Okay then. Today I am done with the class. So if you have any questions, let me know on these concepts.
okay.
You have any question?
No, ma'am.
Okay then. Okay then. Bye. Tomorrow we will see. I need what I need from you. You are clear, right? You need to install the plugin and you need to record any registration form and you need to understand how the recording will be there and you need to play. When you run play button, it should run and you need to explore on the Selenium IDE tool. So it is all self-explanatory. So if you mouse over on that, it will clearly say what it is do. So this it will save the project. Okay.
Okay,
So here we have some more options also. We will explore that tomorrow. So you have a file and export options also. So here task manager. Task manager. And export this. So here, right, if you click on this one, you can export this test case. So once you export, it will ask which language you want to export. So here, if you see C sharp and
sure.
JUnit, X unit, Java and the JUnit, Ruby and the X specific, Python, PyTest, JavaScript, Mocha. So you once you selected this one, if you click on export, so it will export. I mean, it will generate one file, Google test. So once you click on this one, so you will get the file. So if you open this file, you will see. So it's a Selenium script. It will automatically generated the test-ng script. So if you see this @test and everything, so it open the driver. So driver.get. So after that, what you are doing? So you are sending the send keys and you are entering and you are clicking the shopping link. So it will automatically convert into the specific language which you selected. You can also see any language. So as I mentioned that the Selenium will support multiple languages, right? So you can develop the Selenium script using any language. For example, if you see Python, PyTest, so it will export Python file. See, this is a Python script, it got generated. So if you run using the Python, if you have installed in your Python in your machine, you can simply run this .py file. So it will automatically opens the Google browser and it will send enter this text. So if you understood most of the concepts from the Selenium IDE itself, so we can directly copy paste this recorded script into the Eclipse and we can directly run. So try to explore this Selenium IDE. So we'll, if you have any questions, tomorrow we will discuss.
Yeah, okay.
Okay then, bye.
Bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye.
Class ఎందుకు ఎందుకు